I want to read something that Andrew wrote this morning on X, and tell me what your thoughts are on this. Andrew Tate speaks out publicly about his case. It's been 2 years now. Quote, I invested money in Romania and they threw me in a jail cell. 2 years later, I'm still not free. I still can't leave the country. 2 years and all my money is blocked. All my cars are taken. All my assets are seized. Why is this happening? He hasn't been convicted of anything. Why are they seizing his assets? Same thing in the United States under the RICO Act. Same thing. Innocent until proven guilty, and yet they're already made these guys guilty. It's terrible. No one saw any victims on the news, not even one time. And I challenge any of you to bring something different. I've been watching this case. I haven't seen any victim cry out and say, hey, I'm a victim. I'm part of this. Not one time on the news. The only girls I can find are girls who say they are not victims. I've seen that. The government, law enforcement, the prosecution is trying to convince these girls that they're victims when they're saying they're not victims. They did this willingly. And let me tell you something. You know, these sites out there like OnlyFans and everything, Andrew and Tristan didn't create those sites. They didn't create them. The women that are on there willingly. Now, if somebody is helping them, you know, market themselves better, well, why aren't they locking up the people from OnlyFans? Why aren't they going after the guy that created it? And I don't know who that is. I have no axe to grind with him. I'm just saying, there's nothing illegal about it, obviously. I wonder if it crosses anyone's mind that after all this time that I spent, 4 months in detention, 8 months in my locked house, I was stuck in the city for several months. Now I can't leave Romania. How long will this work? I often wonder if anyone considers the fact that 2 years have passed and no one has seen any victims. They were saying that they were going to put them out there. We haven't seen it yet. I sat in a cell watching the news as they said I was a bad person, that I made so much money, that I was a criminal, that I was a human trafficker. Do you know what a terrible accusation that is, to be called a human trafficker in the real sense of the word human trafficking? Do you know what a horrible allegation that is? You better have evidence to back something like that up, not something that you're trying to paint as human trafficking or whatever. That's a horrible allegation. And you know what? The boys are very, very offended by that. And by rights, they should be. If that tag was put on me, I'd be extremely offended by it. That's a terrible accusation. And we're going to find out that wasn't true. I believe that. I was a criminal. I was a human trafficker. We were going to see all the details of the case come out 2 years later, and there were still no victims. Now, the argument can be made, well, you know, Andrew, they're not going to put it out there yet. But, you know, you do get discovery. You know, in a criminal case, you get discovery. You're allowed to see who the victims are, alleged victims, who the people that are making statements against you are. Hasn't seen it yet.